During August, Havebury is consulting with tenants on some important changes to the way its Board of Directors is organised. The Board has responsibility for running Havebury. You may have seen the flyer in Havebury News. This video provides some more information about the proposed changes, and we would really like to hear your views. At the moment, we have 12 people who make up Havebury's board. 4 of these are tenants, 3 are council nominees, and the remainder are what we call independents. The board makes all the key decisions about the business, from keeping it financially viable, deciding what services to provide, and how many homes to build. The board works well at the moment, but we want to look to the future and some of the challenges we will face in a more complex world. So, we want to ensure we have the right people with the right skills and experience to meet these challenges. That's why the board is proposing to separate the 2 important areas of the business. First, it's proposed that there will be a strategic board who will have ultimate responsibility for Havebury, and secondly, an operational board who will be accountable to the strategic board. There will also be an audit and risk committee, similar in many ways to the one we have at the moment. Our current tenant board directors will now talk you through the governance proposals and the importance of taking the opportunity to give your feedback.
I'd like to explain a bit more about the strategic board. Now, the board will have responsibility for making sure there is enough money through bank loans to do everything that is necessary for improving our existing homes and building more homes. The strategic board will be made up of up to 9 people. One of these places will be guaranteed for a tenant. People will be appointed to the other places based on the skills and knowledge required to make sure the company remains successful. You'll have heard Philip talk about how our existing board is made up, and so you'll see that this is one of the main changes that are proposed. In 2002, 71% of St Edmundsbury Borough Council tenants voted to join an independent housing association, and I would urge you to respond to this proposal as many tenants did back then.
As you can imagine, the tenant board directors, whilst recognising the business sense of the change, also want to ensure Havebury don't lose sight of services to tenants that they have worked so hard to safeguard. That's one of the reasons why we feel it really important to have the guaranteed tenant place on the strategic board and how the tenants will be involved in the operational board. The operational board will be made up of 6 people. At least 2 of those will be tenants, and people will be appointed to the board based on their skills, including knowledge of the local area and the type of work we do. We really want this board to make a difference and to have a tenant focus, and that's why the proposal includes the chair of the Tenants Forum and Performance and Scrutiny Panel as non-voting members of the group. The operational board will be important because they make decisions about the services that affect you. That's why these proposals are important, and you should have your say. So please have your say. And if you feel you have the right skills and commitment, then why not put yourself forward to be a future board member?
Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm the newest tenant board director. I've been a director for 2 years now. One of the biggest changes being proposed relates to membership of the company. Members of the company are important because they're the only people who can change our articles of association, including our purpose as a charitable housing association. At the moment, the members of the company are the board directors. Because the proposed changes would result in a smaller strategic board, we've been keen to ensure safeguards are in place, so that fundamental changes to what we do cannot be made unless there is a wider group of members making these decisions. So we're proposing that people who are on the operations board and audit and risk committee, who are not on the strategic board, will become members of the company. Anyone, including tenants, can apply when a vacancy arises on the board. There's more information on this in the flyer, and I'd encourage you to have a look at this and get in touch using one of the contacts at the end of this video if you have any questions. Being a board director has been really interesting. I've got to know a lot about Havebury and feel that I can help make decisions that are right for Havebury as a business and for everyone that lives in Havebury homes. I've found this really rewarding. The changes that are being proposed to Havebury's governance are significant, and so I'd encourage you to fill in the survey and have your say.
There are lots of other ways you can be involved in what Havebury does. I've already mentioned the tenant board members, but there are many other ways you can be involved and help to make a difference. Examples include becoming a mystery shopper, a Havebury area monitor, a member of the Tenants Forum, or you could join one of our groups such as the Equality and Diversity Forum. Whatever your interests, there's a method of involvement for you, so please get in touch. Your views will be given real consideration, so make them known.
You can now give us your thoughts by completing the short survey. If you'd like to know more about the governance proposals or about becoming more involved with Havebury, then you can get in touch by emailing office@havebury.com, and, depending on the question, either one of the tenant board directors or a member of the Havebury team will respond.